The video was captured from a Coldplay concert in Boston. Can you imagine getting busted at a Coldplay concert of all places?
And a Coldplay concert is going viral. It gets me really nervous, but not because of the music, but this couple horrified after they appeared in a kiss cam.
It was supposed to be just another Coldplay concert. Lights pulsing in time to the music, thousands of fans swaying under the glow of the stadium lights, couples holding hands, friends singing along to every lyric, a night of pure joy. But in the span of just a few seconds, joy turned to shock, and the most private betrayal imaginable became a public spectacle seen by millions. The kiss cam panned across the audience, landing on laughing couples. Then, zoom, the camera locked on two very familiar faces, Andy Byron, MIT prodigy, Silicon Valley golden boy, billionaire CEO, and sitting beside him, Kristen Cabot, the head of HR at his billion-dollar tech empire, the so-called enforcer of workplace ethics.
Has announced that its CEO, Andy Byron, seen here, as you saw, embracing a woman who is not his wife, has resigned from the company. The company's board of directors accepted that resignation.
At first glance, it could have been harmless, two co-workers enjoying a night out, but the devil was in the details. The way his hand lingered on hers just a moment too long, the way she leaned in, whispering into his ear, smiling like no one else in the world existed. It wasn't romance the crowd felt, it was a ripple of something wrong. The Jumbotron beamed it across the stadium in 4K. 65,000 people gasped, laughed, or stared in stunned silence. And outside the stadium, within minutes, the footage was everywhere. 17 minutes. That's how long it took from the moment the kiss cam footage hit the internet for the world to identify both faces. Twitter went nuclear. TikTok edits replayed the moment in slow motion. Reddit threads spun conspiracy theories faster than a PR team could refresh their emails. In less than an hour, Andy Byron's name, once synonymous with visionary success, was trending globally for all the wrong reasons. And here's where it gets messy. While the world tore into Andy, one corner of the story stayed suspiciously silent. His parents, Thomas and Lorraine Byron. No press statements, no public defense, no well-crafted family photo to distract from the headlines. Just nothing. And in a world where silence is rarely innocent, that nothing spoke volumes. The Byrons weren't just any parents. In Boston's elite circles, they were a dynasty. Polished, respected, untouchable. Thomas, a decorated Air Force veteran turned no-nonsense businessman. Lorraine, a poised socialite known for her charity work and sharp instincts. Together, they had built a family image as flawless as their son's resume. Church every Sunday, perfect holiday cards. Their son, the prodigy, top of his class, full ride to MIT, running his first startup before 25, turning it into a billion-dollar empire by 30. Neighbors called them the perfect family, the kind of people you trusted without hesitation.
Everyone's talking about the CEO caught on kiss cam at a Coldplay concert, snuggling with his head of human resources. Today, there are serious questions whether they will be forced to leave their job.
But now, that perfect image was shattered in an instant, and for the first time in decades, the Byrons weren't the ones setting the conversation, they were the conversation. Behind closed doors, sources say Lorraine Byron was crushed. She didn't just love her son, she idolized him. To her, Andy wasn't just a success story, he was the success story. So when she saw the footage, her reaction wasn't rage, it was heartbreak. "That's not my son," she reportedly said over and over. "That's not the boy who stayed up all night reading. That's not the man who swore to always do the right thing." Thomas Byron, on the other hand, was furious, and not the yelling kind of furious, the quiet, dangerous kind. A few months before the scandal, he'd confronted Andy directly, told him to stop whatever he was doing before it cost him everything. Andy didn't stop. Now, Thomas wasn't just angry at the affair, he was angry at the arrogance. But here's where the scandal takes a twist. The Byrons weren't standing with their son, they were standing with Megan, Andy's wife. To Thomas and Lorraine, Megan wasn't just an in-law.
I think cheating is an abomination, okay? And this man has a wife, he has children, these kids are gonna have to watch and see this. They don't look, I would be devastated if I was his wife.
She was family. Lorraine called her my girl in public. She stood beside her at charity galas. She believed Megan was the glue holding the Byron name together. So when the footage went viral, it wasn't just Megan's marriage that collapsed, it was her entire sense of belonging. One overheard whisper from Lorraine sent Boston's social circles buzzing. "If Megan leaves the marriage, I'm going with her." the mother of the man at the center of the scandal, ready to walk away from her own son to stand with the woman he betrayed. That's not just tension, that's a fracture that may never heal. The internet, of course, couldn't resist speculating. Some say Thomas knew about Andy's office fling long before the Coldplay concert and kept quiet to protect the family's spotless reputation. If that's true, his silence wasn't just complicit, it was fatal to the Byron image. Others insist the Byrons are preparing a scorched earth public letter, part apology, part condemnation, aimed squarely at their own son in a desperate attempt to distance themselves from his wreckage. If that letter ever goes public, it would be unprecedented. Parents of scandal-plagued public figures almost always disappear from the headlines, but this time, it's personal. And what about Kristen Cabot, the woman at the heart of the clip? Insiders say Lorraine refuses to even say her name, just calls her the homewrecker, and leaves it at that. No explanations needed, everyone knows exactly who she means.
As the video went viral, the internet quickly decided they knew who they were.
Oh boy.
He appears to be the CEO of a tech company, and she, chief people officer of that same company. She's the head of HR.
But here's the thing about Boston's elite. They never forget a scandal, and they never let you live it down. The Byron name, once uttered with respect, is now whispered with pity and sometimes laughter at private dinner parties. This isn't just a PR disaster, it's a social exile. The damage isn't just personal, it's professional. The Byrons didn't just support Andy's career, they built it. They bankrolled his first startup, they attended every investor event, every glossy magazine shoot. They weren't spectators, they were architects of his image. And now, that image is in ruins. Even more brutal. Insiders say the Byron family is living through a humiliation spiral. Every blurry paparazzi shot gets dissected. Every awkward public appearance is a new talking point. And the longer they stay silent, the louder the speculation grows. The emotional fallout is no less devastating. A source close to the family claims that just days after the scandal erupted, Lorraine sent Andy a text. No emojis, no softening words, just raw, unfiltered pain. You broke your vows, your family, and our hearts. I just hope what you're doing is worth losing everything for. When that message leaked, it lit up gossip forums like gasoline on fire. It was proof that the betrayal wasn't just tabloid fodder, it was tearing the family apart from the inside. And Megan? She's not just the betrayed wife. She's become a quiet, reluctant symbol of loyalty and dignity in the face of public humiliation. She's been spotted avoiding cameras, ducking in and out of side doors. But behind the scenes, Thomas and Lorraine have reportedly told her, "You don't deserve this. You deserve loyalty, not lies." In other words, they've chosen her. But loyalty in a scandal this big comes with a cost. The Byron family is now caught in a dangerous balancing act. Protect Megan without completely torching Andy, because no matter how angry they are, he's still their son. But the truth? The public has already made up its mind. Andy Byron isn't the tech visionary anymore. He's America's top adulterer. Now the question hanging over Boston's elite is simple. Are the Byrons staying quiet because they're ashamed, or because they're plotting a final, ruthless move to cut Andy loose for good? The longer they keep the world guessing, the more dangerous the game becomes. And as for Andy, the fall from grace is complete. From stadium jumbotron to TikTok villain, from hometown hero to late night talk show punchline, his empire may have been built on innovation, but it collapsed on arrogance. The Coldplay kiss cam didn't just catch a moment, it caught the exact second a dynasty began to crumble. The Byron name now hangs by a thread, and if the rumors are true, the next move won't be a redemption arc, it'll be a public disowning. Whether that's a strategic PR move or an act of genuine heartbreak remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, in a world addicted to scandal, this one isn't going away anytime soon. Because sometimes a story isn't just about cheating, it's about betrayal, loyalty, and the moment you realize the people you thought would stand by you are already walking away.